What's up everybody, it's Shawnee here and I am back today to give you guys a review of the New Balance 990 V6 in this Paris exclusive colorway. So this New Balance 990 V6 released exclusively at New Balance's Le Marais store in Paris, and they were released alongside this 997 as well. So this is the first time that we've seen the 997 released from New Balance in quite some time, but arguably the 990 V6 was the star of the show. So these released on Friday, July 26th, and they retailed for a price of 250 euros. And this was a joint project with Teddy Santis, who's the creative director of New Balance's Made in USA line, along with Frank Pellegrino, a Parisian artist. So the colorway for these shoes are inspired by the actual design and the colors of that New Balance Le Marais store. And before I go on any further, I want to give the hugest of shoutouts over to my boy Kevin, aka WebPix on Instagram. Not only did he travel 45 minutes to get to the New Balance store, but he helped me grab both of these pairs and then took some more time to box them up, ship them over to me without charging a penny over retail. So again, if you're watching this, Kevin, thank you so much. Without you, this video would not be possible. So continuing on with the shoe, the product code for this sneaker is U990PA6. And in terms of the packaging, nothing special here. This is your typical cream-based New Balance cardboard box with the red logo on the top lid. So diving into the details of this Made in USA sneaker, on the toe box, this is covered in a cream-colored mesh, and right above this, we have this tan-colored reflective layer with green-colored New Balance detailing. On the medial edge of the toe box, we have this brown reflective layer, and then overlaid on both sides of the toe box, we have a synthetic brown-colored nubuck which is perforated. Covering the front toe cap, we have a genuine deep brown colored suede, and this brown suede covers the eyelets of the sneaker as well. Beneath this, on the mid panel, we have this oversized New Balance N logo. This is also reflective, and it's done in a mix of tan with green. And then for the top two eyelets, this is also reflective, and it's done in the same two colors. Underneath this, we have another reflective layer, which is done in more of a brown shade. Above this, we have more of that cream colored mesh. And then covering the bottom of the heel, we have more of that brown colored suede, and we have 990 branding pressed onto the lateral side. Above this, we have a brown colored TPU layer with Made in USA branding, and then on the top of the heel, this is covered in more of a sail or off-white colored mesh. For the laces, this pair comes with two different lace options. So the standard lace that they come with is a wide flat style lace in white, but they also come with a cream colored lace as well. Underneath this, the bottom half of the tongue is covered in that same cream colored mesh, and then on the top of the tongue, this is covered in a brown colored nylon, and then fused onto the top of the tongue, we have New Balance 990 V6 branding. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is lined in a very silky smooth material, which feels very soft to the touch. And then for the insoles, these come with a decently padded foam insole. It's covered in a deep red finish on top, and we have New Balance running branding pressed onto the heel. So the upper of the 990 V6 sits atop this fuel cell foam midsole, which is painted in a very pale beige color. We also have New Balance's end cap technology, and this sits underneath the heel of the sneaker, giving it more support and structure. And then for the outsole, this is your typical 990 V6 outsole, so this is all done in a black colored rubber. We have this wavy style traction pattern along with these grooves to give you added flexibility, and then within the grooves, you can see the exposed fuel cell foam. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about how these fit, to me these fit like any other 990 V6, so I personally prefer to go a half size down because I find that it's a shoe that runs a little bit long lengthwise. So my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I got these in a size 9.5, which is the same size I wear in other New Balance silhouettes like the 992, 993, and the 990 V3, V4, V5. In comparison, I stick true to size or a size 10 in other New Balance silhouettes like the 860 V2, 2002R, 1906R, and a lot of the Made in UK models like the 1500 and the 991. So whatever size you normally wear for New Balance Made in USA models, I'd stick with that same size for this pair, which for most people, assuming you don't have a really wide foot, is a half size down. Keep in mind though, some 990 V6s based off of manufacturing, it can be a little bit snug around the toe box area right here, above where the ball of your foot is. But in my experience, even if it's a little snug straight out of the box, the more you wear them and break them in, they do give and become more comfortable width-wise over time. Moving on to the comfort, so the 990 V6 is an extremely comfortable sneaker, and it's one that feels a bit more on the bouncy and a little bit more on the unstable side. It's not going to be like a 990 V5 where it feels very locked in and it gives you a lot of support and stability. This shoe, because of the fuel cell foam, has more of a dynamic feel underfoot, almost like you're rocking a little bit, and has a nice bouncy, squishy feel to it, which most people love. But it comes down to personal taste. If you're able to go to a New Balance store and try on like a GR990 V6 just to feel the sensation underfoot, I'd recommend that first because the comfort of the shoe might not fit everyone's taste. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality was just like your typical made in USA New Balance, so in my opinion, it was really solid. These suede layers feel very buttery and soft to the touch, and the overall build and construction of my pair was flawless. The stitch job was really good. It was pretty much free of any glue stains, and the panels between my left and right feet were consistent. So I really have no complaints about these once I got these in hand. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. Overall, between this one and the 997, I gotta say this 990 V6 is the star of the show. This is a really unique colorway. It's a very sophisticated and mature vibe to it, but at the same time, it almost reminds me of like ancient warriors even, and has a bit of like an Asian influence to it. It reminds me of like ancient Chinese temples maybe. And for those that know who the Monkey King is, the colorway for this shoe reminds me of the Monkey King's armor. So for me, I don't really see the direct Parisian influence on this colorway. I get that it's based off of the store design, but when I look at the colorway for this shoe, my mind just goes into far off directions, but it's still a beautiful colorway nonetheless. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this Paris exclusive New Balance 990 V6? What are your overall thoughts on the colorway for this shoe? And who else was lucky enough to either grab a pair yourself or have someone proxy a pair for you? Comment down below if you did. And as usual, if you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, check me out on X at sean.go spelled out, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Another huge shout out goes out to Kevin, aka WebPix. Thank you again for going above and beyond to help me get these two shoes in my hand. And for everyone else, thank you again. I appreciate the continued love and support, and I'll catch all of you in my next review.